Welcome back to Learning How. Today we are learning about Benjamin West. He was born in 1738. He died in 1820. He is from the United States. He's from Pennsylvania. Benjamin West is described as the father of American painting. He was encouraged to start drawing at age 6, and by the age of 20, he was a successful painter. In fact, he is the 10th child of an innkeeper and his wife. He had little to no formal education. In fact, I find this really interesting that while he was president of the Royal Academy, he could barely spell. So he was the president of this university and he could barely spell. That's incredible. But as a child, he learned to paint from Native Americans. He learned to mix clay from the riverbank, and in a pot there was bear grease. I'm not really sure what bear grease is, but I guess we can find out about that later. But bear grease apparently, and he would mix them together and he would learn to paint with the Native Americans by using those two items. And one day he recounted in his memoir, he one day said that one day his mother left him alone with his little sister Sally. And during this time, he found bottles of ink. He began to use those bottles of ink to make a portrait of his sister. When his mother came home and found the painting, she picked it up and said, "Why, it's Sally." And she kissed him. Later, he said, this is his quote, "My mother's kiss made me a painter." So moms out there, make sure you're kissing your little painters and encouraging them, because that was just precious. So now he became one of the most renowned painters, and he's known as the father of American painting, and he was very famous. He was a friend of King George III, and he finally lived in England where he did a lot of his paintings. During this time in history, in 1769, James Cook sails to Australia and Antarctica. And in 1783, the Revolutionary War ends with the Treaty of Paris. The first piece of art that we are going to look at is called Benjamin Franklin Drawing Electricity from the Sky. This picture depicts the 1752 experiment where Benjamin Franklin showed that lightning is a form of electricity. Franklin and West were friends. This painting is on slate. It's only 13 inches by 10 inches, and it hangs in a gallery in Philadelphia. Slate is a smooth piece of rock or tablet used for writing, drawing, or painting. The second piece of artwork that we're going to study is called Treaty of Paris. In 1783, the Americans and the British signed a Treaty of Paris ending the Revolutionary War and acknowledging that America as a free and independent country. The American delegation sat and posed for West for their painting, but the British refused. The painting remained unfinished. The keyword we're studying here is commemoration. Commemoration is a remembrance, typically through a ceremony. The third piece of art that we are going to study is called The Death of General Wolfe. This is West's best known painting. It was painted in 1770 and it depicts the battle from the 7 Years' War. General Wolfe was a British general. This particular battle only lasted 15 minutes. This is seen as an artistic interpretation and is not a literal depiction of the event. So it means the artistic interpretation means art is created in a way to express meaning and feeling rather than exact depictions of objects and events. So it means this is how he thinks it would have looked. It is not the literally what it looked like. He wasn't there. He wasn't like taking like pictures with a camera. But this is his interpretation of how he thinks it looked. So this is an artistic interpretation, not a literal depiction of this event of war. The fourth piece of art that we're going to study is called Portrait of George III. West painted more than 80 paintings for King George III. Remember, they were friends, so while he was hired to be the historical painter, he mostly painted portraits and not historical events. But this painting is a little bit different. This painting was completed shortly after King George was forced to recognize America as a free and independent country. So, what do you notice about this painting? And what kind of feelings and emotions do you think that King George is portraying in this painting? And so the key word we're going to learn here is called foreground. Foreground means objects low or in front of the viewer that makes the objects appear closest to the viewer. So what are some of the objects in the foreground of this picture? Today for learning how, we're going to do our own slate drawings. We have, everybody's going to get their own slate board, these little mini chalkboards, and we have some chalk that you can choose from, and you can make your own slate drawing. So enjoy, be creative.
This is a picture of me at the beach.
It's lovely. Thank you, Reggie.
I draw the submarine underwater shooting a torpedo.
Cool.
I have drawn a nuclear bomb going off.
Okay.
And our channel needs a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you guys can see our newest episodes. Stay tuned. See you guys later. Bye!